All right. Hello, you guys. This is going to be an amazing training. Literally, this is one of the secrets of the universe that not a lot of people talk about. And seriously, though, as you go throughout your journey to improve your health, improve your revenue, your performance, your self healing journey, this is one of the things that many people have a hard time can grasping or taking a hold of or applying to their life because just we're so used to. I really believe that if you're struggling with building habits to reach your goals, that is simply because you're so used to somebody else telling you how to live your life or how to create your days. Because let's face it, we grew up in a culture where teachers, our authorities, they told us what to do. So a lot of times we're waiting for people to tell us what to do when we will do more for somebody else and do not as much for ourselves. And the skill that we're going to learn today, and I'm going to teach you how to do, is how to build habits. And something that is important in learning how to do this, yes, actually, carrying them out is great. And I know that that's what's changed my health, my performance, my revenue, my business was building habits around my health and building a solid foundation for my mind, body, and spirit. But part of the journey is like getting your mind clear on like, why is this so important? Why does this work? So I'm just going to go and dive right into it, um, about the psychology of habits. So let's face it. So in this video, really, let's talk about the science and psychology of building the habits and how to raise the bar on, you know, let's let's face it. This is my word of the day. It We're only at where we are because of what we've done. So we need to raise our standards. And I'll go into that more as we go into this training. So I want to just put this out there right away that in our life, we're either growing, we're staying the same, or we're not, or we're dying. So the goal is to always grow. And sometimes that growth is small growth. Maybe it's, you didn't judge yourself for the first time in your life for being tired, or maybe you gave yourself 2 minutes to rest when before in the past you would just keep pushing through when your body needed to rest. Or maybe it was you said no to a cookie and that was your 1% growth. You guys, like, growth doesn't always have to be hard and difficult. I'm just saying it can be fun and it can be easy. I know for me, I've really enjoyed improving myself, and so have many of the people that I've worked with. What is a habit and why are they so important? So, Brian Martin has this quote: habits make it possible for us to do things without spending exorbitant mental effort. They make everyday life possible for good and bad, good or bad. So think about something like brushing your teeth. When you wake up in the morning, you don't think about, am I going to brush my teeth today or not? Hopefully, anyway. You just go through the actions, go through the motions and do it. I used to work in management, and a lot of my coworkers would tell me stories about how they were running late one day and they just, their alarm didn't go off or they overslept or whatever. But many times they always brush their teeth. That was like one of the non-negotiable things. Even if they were late, they'd still brush their teeth. They'd say like, "Oh, I had to quick brush my teeth as fast as I could." And that's a real habit. And that leads to good dental health, good breath. It has good components. And then there's, negative habits that we do. Maybe it's that you are in the habit of slowing down at the end of the day by eating, and you know that that's disrupting your sleep, but it's just the pattern that you created for yourself as your way to decompress from the day or reward yourself at the end of the day. And it creates, that just perpetual cycle of, this is how I do my day. And what is that ultimately leading to day in, day out? Poor sleep, maybe weight gain. It might be a coping mechanism to deal with stress that you've dealt with, that you didn't deal with throughout the day. So yes, being very mindful of these unconscious things that we just do, that is a habit. So why not use this to our benefit? Let's use this technology to help us, to grow us. So going more into habits, they are actions that we do consistently without consciously thinking about doing them. They are important to our nutritional success because they make it to where we see success. And if we don't see success, I don't know about you, but I'm not here for just messing around. Like, I want to see the success though. So right now, I'm just going to do a little bit of an exercise with you all. So closing the eyes down, and we're just going to focus on our breath. Taking some inhalations and exhalations through the nose. As you start to bring yourself into a peaceful state of mind, just letting go of any to-dos or anything that's happened in your day, just taking it right here to this very present moment. As you continue to breathe in and breathe out. Beautiful. And I want you to visualize yourself in your most ideal, highest version, where you're automatically doing habits that make for good health and for good performance. You're automatically making healthy decisions. You automatically decide to meal prep. You automatically are knowing that you need to prepare yourself for vacation or a busy day by having foods ready for you. You automatically know how to meditate when you need some rest and refueling and recharging. Automatically, without even thinking about it, you're going to bed at the right time, giving yourself plentiful amount of sleep, drinking enough water. You're doing these things without even consciously realizing it. You're just going through your day. They're built in. Picture a life where abundant energy and confidence and growth are normal day-to-day occurrences for you. Breathe in and out. That can be you. That is you. In fact, as you open your eyes, realize that you are in a group, you are in a container. This program is set up exactly for you to be able to achieve that. You are capable. You have the tools, the community, and the energy around you to access this. The best way to get the energy you need for performance and to improve your income by self-healing is to follow a nutrition plan that sets up systems and goals. So the goal, this is the second point that I'm teaching on today. The goal is important, but it's nothing without the systems and the processes. Like, think about a big company, for example, like Apple, or I'm a farm person. So think about like these large scale farms. You know, at one point, those companies were simply somebody's idea, and literally you were just visualizing and creating an idea of who you are becoming and what your goal is. At one point, that was somebody's just literally thought. And over time, and with habits and systems, you know, they created a system. Apple, they created systems, they hired people, they created, you know, this whole magnificent orchestration to, you know, this isn't an iPhone, I'm an Android person, but to create this phone that we use, everybody has one. Like, life without one. The other day I didn't have my phone. It was like, how am I even going to live my life? I felt lost. Same with these farms. At one point, there was one individual that said, hey, I want to create, you know, such and such revenue. And they started putting systems and processes in place to get to that revenue. Well, we're going to do the same thing, only with our own individual, on our own individual plane. This is really setting you up the foundation that you need to self-heal and to take care of yourself, where you're pouring into your business from a full place. So our goal is to get healthy. It's to lose fat in the process, potentially gain muscle, gain mental clarity, have more energy. Our system and our process is logging our food, following our macros, and exercising. So many times in the nutrition and fitness world, people and clients I've worked with in the past are so focused on the goal. The goal is, I want this weight, or I want to fit in this size jeans, or I want to be healthy enough to achieve this amount of revenue, or I want the mental clarity to where I'm creating this specific program, or I want this amount of income this week, this month, this year. I'm going to just talk about those 3 pitfalls from simply just focusing on goals alone. And the first pitfall is that goals rely on motivation. Think of your habits. You do them automatically, regardless of whether you're happy, like you brush your teeth, whether you're tired, whether you're fully energized, whether you're on vacation, whether you're, visiting friends, like if you're out of town for a weekend, or whether you're hungover, like I don't know what state you might be in, but you still brush your teeth. And same with negative habits too. Like, it doesn't really matter. Sometimes people are really excited, they'll overeat. Sometimes if people are really sad and depressed, they'll overeat, or maybe undereat, or bite your nails. Like, it doesn't really matter if I'm having, I'm not a nail biter, but just saying, some people do bite their nails regardless of whether they're on vacation, whether they're having a normal mundane day, whether they just made $2,000 or whether they made $0. I mean, biting nails just happens regardless of what their emotional state is. Us humans are born bipolar when it comes to motivation, just like Indiana weather. Like, happiness is fleeting when we think about it, or even like our emotions, like they're just this energy. As a Reiki practitioner, I realize emotions are just this energy that is moving through us. Anxiety or sadness or happiness, joy, bliss, like these emotions are constantly moving. Constantly. People are always asking, why do I have different chakras open and closed each time? Well, it's because of the emotional states that we're going through as human beings. We're here to experience the dark and the light, and our brains are wired to magnify the risks whenever we hesitate. Motivation relies on how we feel. So anytime you hesitate to do something, you think about it, you figure out, how am I going to do this? That's when the brain is like, oh no, danger, danger, danger. This might kill me. Heck, even today, I was at the gym and I was practicing laying on the back and moving from laying on my back to jumping up and landing on my feet. And I was hesitant. I was scared. I had fear in myself. And it was the first time, or probably the second time that I tried doing that. But because I was hesitating, my brain was automatically sending that fear signal. It was doing based off of how I was feeling. Where if I was practicing more consistently on doing this move and created habits around like getting to this goal of being able to stand on my 2 feet from laying on my back, I wouldn't rely on, oh, I'm not scared, so now I'm going to do it. The second pitfall that just focusing on goals alone creates is goals restrict your happiness. This is a really interesting concept that a lot of people in the fitness industry, and I've dealt with myself, is like I would create these goals, but then I almost blocked myself from receiving these goals. And this is why. It's because behind any goal, there is this, once I reach the goal, then I'll be happy. Once I get the car, once I get the money, once I get the body, once I hit that goal weight, once I get in those jeans. The problem with goals first mentality is that you are continually putting your happiness off until that milestone. James Clear writes, goals create an either or conflict. It's like this good or bad. It's like a label. Either you achieve your goal and are successful, or you fail and are disappointed. You mentally box yourself into a narrow version of where your happiness is. So this is where it's really going to get clear for you, is when I tell you that create a system that you freaking love, one that inspires you, one that gets you excited and full of joy and into your creative flow. Give yourself a good space, give yourself a beautiful room or gym or good community to get with. Um, when you love the system rather than the goal, you don't have to give yourself time, or you don't have to wait to be happy. You can just be satisfied anytime knowing that you are in your system. Like, you are running a system, you're running a program that is taking you to your goal. For example, for myself, my goal was to learn yoga handstand, and it's been on my vision board for like 4 years. And my system that I have in place is I go to the gym every day at 11 o'clock. Every day at 11 o'clock. I go at the same time because that's what works for me. Some people, that might not work. But for me in my situation, which when we work together one-on-one, we'll be able to like hone in on what works best for you and your lifestyle. But by having that system in place, that habit of going to the gym every day, I run first every time. Literally every time. I've been doing this mile challenge for like 2 years almost. The end of this month will be 2 years. Anyway, then I do weight training, and then I practice yoga. That's like how I do it every single time. And that system works for me. I can do it daily. It doesn't matter if it's raining outside. It doesn't matter if I'm tired, or it doesn't matter if I'm fully energized. I just show up anyway. And what happens is once you show up, you're going to start getting momentum, because you know that this is what's getting you to your goal. And that's why it's good that you're in this community, and I'm here to help and coach you as you build this system, that you know that you're building a system that is conducive to your goals. A lot of times people hesitate to build a system because they're like, I don't know if this is actually going to get me the result. Hello, I'm right here. I'm here to help. And also your intuition. Many times, a lot of you guys are very intuitive, so you already know. And the last thing, the last pitfall, just focusing solely on the goal creates, is this idea that goals have an end date, and they actually, by having an end date, it prevents growth. So like I said earlier, if we're not growing, we're either staying the same or dying. And usually when people stay the same too long, it's easy to go back to old ways because they're not motivated by the fun and the excitement of growth. So how many people find themselves reverting back to their old habits after accomplishing a goal? I see this so often. People think, oh, I've reached the goal, I've achieved it. I see this all the stinking time with people that figure something out and they rush to get it, and then they revert back to old habits, and maybe even worse, you guys. Like, I'll see somebody that cuts sugar completely out of their diet. They start supplementing, they get all the homeopathic remedies, they get their health back to where they want it to be. And then all of a sudden they just go back to eating sugar because it's like, oh, I reached my goal of not eating sugar. But growth occurs in the journey and process. Once that journey ceases to exist, then so does the growth. The purpose of a goal is to win the game. The purpose of a system is sustain playing the game. Some people come up to me and they'll say, Valerie, I really want to lose 10 pounds and I want to lose it fast. Can I do a 3-day fast, a water fast? And my answer to that is, I would rather you keep a system that you can run daily than fast, get off your fast, and revert back to old habits. I'd rather see if somebody was fasting that they did this, in an intermittent way or a consistent way where they did it every Sunday, or in a more sustainable way that is going to keep it for the long haul. Goals provide direction and even push you forward in the short term, but eventually a well-designed system will determine your results. When you go to the gym, you see these people that are really buff and toned and have lots of muscle and can do handstand push-ups, or can like pull all this weight around, or even in a yoga class, you can see yogis balancing, or You know, you see people that seem like they can eat whatever they want and never gain any weight. Well, it's because they have a system in place and they've been doing it for most likely a good while. Especially if they're very advanced, I promise you that they've been at it for a little bit. All right, so next we're going to talk about raising your self-healing standards, raising your performance standards, raising your revenue standards. Step 1. Our standards are deeply rooted in our beliefs, actions, and focus. Yes, and beliefs we pick up where? We pick up from around our family, from sitting at dinner with our parents, with our family that tells us this is how life is. We see our parents as young kids. How do they eat? That's probably how we eat. I notice there's so many funny little things that I do, and it's simply because that's how my parents did it. Oh, I use a fork and spoon and knife separator just like the one I had growing up. Or I like to have in my new house here, I like to paint the walls the same color as the house that I grew up in. And that's just a passed on idea, as well as focus. So we're going to go into these in more depth here. So our standards are the traditions and value we live by, and they are 100% unshakable. We protect our standards with our lives without even realizing it. This is a very powerful training, you guys, because, you know, we created our life. I'm sure you are familiar with that concept, but we created everything, like the clothes that you have on, the haircut you have, the amount of weight that's on your body, you created that. The amount of energy you have, the mindset and the way that you think about life, the way that you may or may not judge yourself, the way you may or may not label things as good or bad, it's all consciously created at one point or another. So what we're going to do, step 1, is change your goal to an identity. So my goal, like I mentioned before, was to be able to do yoga handstand. And instead of saying, I can do a yoga handstand, or I want to do a yoga handstand, I'm a yogi and I do handstands. Change your I want to I am. I want to be a 6-figure income earner. I am a 6-figure income earner. I am that. I am that. We do so many meditations that use mantra to infuse the affirmation of identity. I am a yogi. I am a healthy person. I am a high performing business owner. I'm a business owner that creates 10K per month. I am that. I am a dog owner. I am a healthy person. I'm a beautiful person. I am always my best. Things of this nature. Not I want. Take that I want out and just step into it. Step into it. Something that I did when I first started learning this concept was I imagined I put on the clothing of Wonder Woman. Like I literally stepped into her clothes and stepped into her shoes so that I could embody and be the leader that I wanted to be. It worked all day long. I could say I want to be a manager or I want to be a leader, but until I just stepped into that position and just became that instead of wanting it, nothing really changed. It just left me unhappy, really. So picture someone who's trying to quit smoking, and then somebody offers them a smoke. They respond with, I am trying to quit. And then the other thing they could say is, I am not a smoker. In the first response, the smoker is still identifying as a smoker, but by saying, I'm trying to quit, it just, doesn't have commitment. There's no commitment energy behind that. If someone offers you a cupcake and you're saying, I'm trying to lose weight, and then instead you say, I'm living a healthy lifestyle. I am a 6-figure business owner. 6-figure business owners, if they're truly successful, they have the identity of, I'm a six-figure business owner. Most six-figure business owners take care of their health and their body first. I promise you, if they don't, man, they already probably had a lot of systems and structures in place for them to be where they are without being healthy. So why does this matter? Our actions will subconsciously support our identity. So get around the right people, groups, and leaders. Science confirms that getting to the next level is 100% dependent on the right kinds of relationships, not just hanging out with pals. This is Henry Cloud. I'll just let that sink in for a little bit. What are the people around you telling you? Are they cursing all the time? Are they saying how bad and hard life is? Are they saying how things are just not going to work out for you? Are they doubting you? Let's go into people. People we are around influence us in way more ways than we could imagine. They input what feeds our mind. You are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. Our friends and associates drive our focus. So it's really easy to say, oh, I'm doing so good with my health and my wellness and my business is doing good because look at how bad they are. Like, put your paw in the air if you feel like that could be you, that you're putting yourself around these people that, let's just say, if you're the wealthiest, healthiest, most prosperous person in your group of friends, it's time for you to get a new friend group. It really is. Yeah. Going into groups. One of the single most effective ways to raise your standard is to join a group where the desired behavior is the norm. New habits that build higher standards are more achievable when you see other people doing the same thing. Now I am a healthy person becomes we are healthy tribe. We are a healthy tribe. We are a healthy community. Look at where you're at right now. You're in a group of people where documenting food and sending food logs and wanting to gain this goal is the standard. Wanting the revenue amount is the standard. Where looking for better performance by improving your health and your self-healing is the normal. Leaders, this is a powerful one as well. Our leaders are most often imitated. It can devastate a child if the hero takes a hit in a movie. Our brains want to emulate behavior that gains approval, respect, and praise. Choose your role models wisely. They will guide your habits. I noticed the way that I am is directly reflecting of who my mentors are, who my teachers are, what books I read, who I'm inspired by is strongly, my decisions are strongly affected by who I follow on social media. This is another powerful technique, you guys. This is power, power, power. I'm telling you, people look for power by trying to control others. I'm telling you, power is in changing your shoulds to must. To become a healthy person who exemplifies healthy habits daily, we must turn our I should eat better, exercise more, be around positive, like-minded people into I must do these things. It is literally, you guys, just face it now, it is your duty, obligation, and responsibility, not only to yourself, but to your loved ones, that you are a healthy person. Saying that statement, I am a healthy person. I am a prosperous business owner. I am improving my self-healing. I have great performance. You must do it. You must do it. If you do not, you're going to revert. You're going to go back and you're not going to grow. And you're going to stay the same, which is basically dying anyway, because when you're the same, you know, it's okay to like get to the top of your mountain. Celebrate when you break through plateaus. Please do, but don't stay there too long because it's so easy to go back. Stay with the momentum. It's just your moral obligation. You must be who you want to be. I've gotten this in so many Reiki sessions that people stay in anxiety because they should on themselves all day. I should do this, I should do that, and they just don't. Luckily, that's not you because you're in this group. Commit to it today. So with that, you guys, just to recap and re-articulate what you've got to learn today is the science and psychology of building habits and how to raise your standards. You learned what a habit is. You learn that habits are actions that we consistently do without consciously thinking about doing them. You learn the 3 pitfalls to focusing solely on goals. They rely on motivation. Goals can restrict your happiness. Goals have an end date and prevent your growth. You learned step 1 to improving your health standards, your performance standards, by changing your identity, by changing your goal into your identity, changing those I want statements to I am statements. You learned that it's important to get around the right people, groups, and leaders. So with that, this is the beginning to our habits training. This is just the first of many more trainings to come on habits. Let me know in the group, in the comments below, or send me a message if you're seeing this video in a message thread. Let me know what you're committed to. What is your new identity that you're stepping into? What is the new identity and what commitment are you going to be carrying out to keep this identity? If you have any stumbling blocks, any roadblocks, please reach out, send a message to me, post about it in the group. We're here for support. We're people that have high standards. So let's go set those standards as high as you can get them. Have a great, wonderful day, you guys.